Hello and welcome to this week's episode of MT Squared, Minerva's 2-minute tactics for your procurement. This week's tactic is a follow-on from last week's, and actually I am filming them one after the other. So just before anyone says you seem to be in the same place, in the same clothes as you were wearing last week, I have done these recordings actually back to back. It is a follow-on from last week. Last week I was talking about the timing of your bids and your tenders, and actually looking at whether you're going to have the right number of good quality bidders for your tender. And just following on from that, a lot of people say to me, how many bidders should we invite to tender? Now, obviously, if you're running a process that's compliant with the public contract regulations, then initially you can't limit the number of bidders that can bid at the selection questionnaire stage, but you can limit then at the second stage of the process, the invitation to tender stage. Equally, if you're running a what we call below threshold procedure and you're inviting your bidders, then again, you've got the opportunity to limit the number that you invite. I would suggest that the optimum number of bidders is 5. And the reason for that is because it's a manageable number. You're going to have those contractors most likely want to come round for a site visit. So obviously you don't want all and sundry coming traipsing through your school. In addition, you're going to have to score all of the bids that are received. So it's sensible to limit the number of bidders that you've got. And in addition, if bidders think that there's a huge number of contractors that are bidding on the same opportunity, it may put them off because they may think, well, if you've got 20 bidders, our chances of winning are fairly slim. So they may decide not to bid. The other reason for having 5 is that the flip side of that is that you will, as I mentioned in last week's tactic, potentially get some bidders that will drop out. And there could be all sorts of reasons why they drop out. It could be that they haven't got the capacity. It could be that annoyingly, sometimes they don't read the tender documentation correctly. And when they do eventually sit down and read it properly, they decide that the opportunity is not for them. This week, I've had a contractor contact me that a key member of their staff has unexpectedly gone into hospital and they no longer have the resource. It could be that they've won a massive tender, and that because of that, they now don't have the capacity to mobilise any more tenders. So, there's lots of reasons why they might drop out. So having 5 bidders means that even if you get 1 or 2 drop out, you'll still have, a good number, 3, that you will receive bids from. So that's my tactic for this week. Think about the number that you invite to tender. And generally, rather than 3 being the magic number, as is often said, I think in this instance, it's 5. So until next time, soldier on.